Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about a drama thriller film called The Other Lamb from 2019. Enjoy your viewing. Sela lives with other girls in a community in the middle of the forest. They eat, sleep, and cook in abandoned houses. They also raise sheep, eat their meat, and use their skins for blankets. Girls in the community are divided into wives and sisters. Wives wear red dresses. They get the opportunity to sleep with the shepherd and have children with him. Sisters are mostly young girls who have not yet begun their menstrual cycle. They are obliged to obey their wives without question and do household chores. The pastor is the only man in the community. He calls his harem the flock and considers himself to be the guide of girls and women to paradise on earth, to unlimited happiness. To achieve this, they must renounce the sinful things offered by the civilized world and obey his will without question. Sela, like the other girls, lives quite happily. During the day they are busy with household chores. Sometimes they go out and have fun. After dinner, the shepherd gives a sign, and everyone immediately stops talking. He walks along the line of women, picks one, and announces that she is chosen to spend the night with him. The others go back to their beds, pray for the shepherd's mercy, and thank him for the opportunity to live with him. The shepherd's wives can think of no greater happiness than to become pregnant by him. The girls born in the community stay in the flock, grow up, and eventually become wives. From time to time, the shepherd preaches sermons that make the girls ecstatic. After the next sermon, the shepherd turns his attention to Sela. She is still very young, but she already catches his eye. He is waiting for her first menstrual period to begin so that he can promote her to the rank of wife. Sela adores the shepherd. Her mother died in childbirth, and she never tires of hearing the story of her meeting the shepherd, imagining that she is bringing her mother to life in her mind. However, the shepherd marries another girl who has recently arrived in the community. Sela is jealous and even hurts the new wife, although she should show her respect. A friend of Sela's tells her mother about her behavior, and she orders Sela to take the leftovers to the women who have fallen out of favor with the shepherd. These women must be cleansed in order to return to the community. The hut where they live is located far from the main settlement. One of its inhabitants tells Sela that when she bleeds for the first time, the shepherd will also recognize her as unclean and send her into temporary exile. After a while, Sela is assigned to deliver a sheep, a responsible task for which the older women prepare her. However, the girl falls asleep far from home. When she wakes up, she finds that the lamb has been mauled by a wild dog. Moreover, Sela begins her first menstruation. She panics and tries to hide it. The shepherd forgives her for the death of the lamb. One night, a policeman comes to the community. He makes it clear to the shepherd that if he does not leave this forest in the coming days, he will be in trouble. The village sees this conversation and realizes that there is a power even higher than its leader. The next day, the shepherd announces that they will have to leave their place because the sinful world has invaded them and will soon separate him from the girls. Then he falls down. The girls rush to him, but only Sela is in no hurry. In his fall, the shepherd seems to have seen the new home they will find. The community members pack their belongings and set out, taking their sheep with them. On the way, they find an abandoned house. Sela and her friend hurry to look inside, but the shepherd has strictly forbidden them to enter. They stop for the night nearby and sleep in their tents. In the evening, Sela is alone by the fire and sees the shepherd enter the tent with one of his wives. The entrance to his tent was open, and the shepherd notices Sela too. He, like a true shepherd of the flock, is already anticipating the moment when he will be able to enjoy this body. At night, Sela disobeyed the shepherd and went to an abandoned house. In the morning, she started bleeding again, and one of the girls panicked and told the others. Sela was automatically labeled as unclean, and she was temporarily expelled from the community. She had to leave at the very end with Sarah, who had once known her mother. Long ago, the two of them came to this community. Sela was sure that her mother had died in childbirth, but Sarah told her that the woman had lived for some time. She developed an infection, but the pastor refused to take her to the hospital. Because of this, Sela's mother died. One day, during their long walk, Sela saw a car with a woman and her two daughters. In the back seat was a copy of her, looking at them thoughtfully. She wondered where all these women were going and why they needed a shepherd. After all, they could just ride in a warm car with their families. There are pregnant girls in the shepherd's flock. They are happy to carry the children of their leader. But now Sela looks at them differently. She no longer envies them. Sarah tells her more and more details about life in the community, and Sela begins to realize that the women stay here either out of fear of returning to their previous lives or out of desperation. When Sela's bleeding stopped, she was able to return to the others. The girls started asking her about Sarah, but Sela told them almost nothing. On the way, one of the shepherd's wives went into labor. The birth was supposed to take place later, and she was afraid to give birth right there. She wanted to carry her baby to their new home, but nature decreed otherwise. They had to go down to the stream and deliver the baby. The labor was difficult, and the girl died, leaving her little daughter and newborn son alone. The shepherd ordered to build a big fire and get rid of her body. Sarah openly accused him of her wife's death, and at the same time called him by his real name, Michael. She pushed the deceased's daughter away from the fire, and the body was set on fire. When the body burned, the herd moved on. Sarah got separated from it and decided to leave the community. Sarah explained to Selah that she was leaving because the shepherd was trying to get rid of the newborn boy. He didn't want another man in the flock. He must be the only one. Sarah said goodbye to Selah and went on her way. The women were getting tired of wandering aimlessly. Their faith in the shepherd was beginning to crumble, and he realized it. When Tamar carelessly spoke about what she saw on the horizon, the shepherd exploded in anger and severely beat her. He would not tolerate disobedience in his flock. Finally, the shepherd led the women to a picturesque place near a clear mountain lake. Here he intends to found a new community. The girls camped by the lake, and the shepherd began to baptize them in the water. Selah was also baptized. He held her under the water for a particularly long time, and then kissed her, hinting that she would soon become his wife. At night, he came to Selah's tent and invited her to come with him. The girls tried to talk her out of it, but Selah got up and followed her shepherd. In his tent, she let her hair down and lay down as he ordered. Then he did to her what he had done to his other wives and let her go. For Selah, this was the last straw. She decided to change her life and the life of the whole flock forever. At that moment, the weak-willed lamb turned into a formidable leader. Selah went to the other girls and told them a story about a free woman who did not obey anyone. In this story, she was talking about Sarah. In the morning, the girls realized that their wives had disappeared from the community. They went to the lake to look for them, but only found the shepherd in red dresses. The shepherd told them that his wives had gained eternal life. This was necessary so that the young girls could become his new wives. Realizing that the shepherd had simply drowned the women, the girls rebelled. They attacked him, scratched him with their nails, bit him, and eliminated him in a matter of minutes. Sometime later, the police found the bodies of the murdered women in a swamp near a lake. They went into the forest to find the killer and other traces of the crime. There they came across the body of the shepherd. There was not a single living thing left on him. On his head they put a ram's skull, a symbol of the leader of the flock, which always hung in one of the rooms of their community. Having freed themselves from their shepherd, the girls went to the same waterfall that Sarah had told them about and where she sometimes visited at night. They no longer had a shepherd. Selah, the strongest among them, took his place. She was holding a young lamb in her arms, just as the shepherd had once done. If you have watched the video so far, you should know that I am happy to have viewers like you. Thank you for watching to the end. Subscribe to the channel and follow the news. Klonsak Recapped was with you. See you soon.